We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
With global pals, it's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Theater Podcast, the podcast where we talk about
everything theater and even a little bit of movies because it's that time of year. It's Oscars. Hi, I'm Benita Zahn.
And I'm Ellen Cribbs. Yeah, I love this time of year. This has been a tradition we've done since we started. We love our theater, but sometimes we hop over to our sister entertainment field to talk about the Oscars.
And we're delighted once again to have Jackson Murphy join us.
Hello, ladies. Hi.
You're the man. Oh, I'm all choked up. You're watching the movies all the time. Look at all the seats behind you.
Yeah. I got the seats behind me, the theatrical experience. It was an amazing year for the theatrical experience and some at-home movies as well. And so many of those big films are nominated this year at the Academy Awards.
96th annual.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is right. I mean, I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
96, right. 96. You have Barbie and Oppenheimer.
That's right. The double. I did it. I did the double on opening day. I did. I went to Barbie and then I went to Oppenheimer, actually at two different theaters. So yes, it was, and that's the right way you should watch them, by the way. I'm glad I did. I wanted to see Barbie, get the comedy in, and then settle in for the serious drama. Although a lot of Barbie was actually serious as well. So that was a memorable day in 2023. And now they've got tons of nominations. I think 21 nominations between the two of them. So it's big for them.
Barbie has not been doing well in the preliminary awards, SAG and all. Oppenheimer has.
Yeah. Oppenheimer is the front runner for Best Picture and has done so well. Critics' Choice win, Golden Globe drama, SAG Ensemble, BAFTA Best Film. So yes, Barbie got a little bit. It got that Golden Globe Box Office Achievement Award, Best Original Song for Billie Eilish, and Best Comedy from Critics' Choice Awards. But yeah, not a lot, and some big snubs. Greta and Margot not getting their directing and acting nominations this year. Huge snubs. The big ones everybody talked about on nomination morning. And I was a little surprised, especially Greta. I think everything that she put into the movie, which I didn't love Barbie, but everything she put into it, it made sense. And the impact that it had, that she would get a Best Director nomination. Margot Robbie, to me, I like the performance, but not my favorite Margot Robbie performance. Maybe not even top 5 for me of hers of all time. So, and it was huge competition for that lead actress category this year.
So what's your pick?
For which category? You want to start with picture or actress? What do you want to?
Let's start backwards from the Oscars.
Oh, okay.
And start with, because they wait, Best Picture is what you stay up for.
Right.
All right, drum roll. Let's start with that one.
All right, it's got to be Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I think, will win. My favorite of the 10 nominees is The Holdovers.
Yes, yay, me too.
Good. I love this film. Paul Giamatti's outstanding. Da'Vine Joy Randolph, Dominic Sessa, Alexander Payne film that I love. It should win, but Oppenheimer will win. It has the momentum. Even a movie that's as old as, coming out in the middle of July, and it's still got this momentum. And it is a movie that I like a little more than Barbie, but didn't fully love either. But it's a movie of the moment. It's got a lot of power to it. The performances, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt. And so I think when you pack it all in and what Christopher Nolan has done, I think Oppenheimer is your Best Picture winner.
Where do you want to go from here, Ellen?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Best Actor, do you think Cillian Murphy's going to take it? Or he's got some stiff competition there?
He does. I think Cillian Murphy wins, but I wouldn't have necessarily said this a month or so ago. The momentum was there for Paul Giamatti after winning Critics' Choice for Best Actor, as well as Actor in a Comedy Golden Globe. And what a performance and what a career that Paul Giamatti has had. It'd be a little bit of a combo, career plus the best performance of your career, without question. But now I think people watching Oppenheimer a second or a third time, rediscovering it, and the momentum it has for Best Picture, and people go, well, we got to give it to the guy who plays Oppenheimer in Oppenheimer. So I think Cillian will win, and Bradley Cooper will lose for a 12th time, which is just unbelievable. But this is still not his year.
I say we should spend a hot second on Maestro, because as a theater podcast, this is one of the most theatrical of them about Leonard Bernstein. So you think Bradley Cooper is not going to take it for his portrayal of Leonard?
No, I don't. I think his performance is good. Same with Carey Mulligan, but I had a lot of problems with Maestro, and I'd love to hear what you two think. But I had a lot of problems with the tone. It felt very disjointed to me. The two of them are egomaniacs, and it's hard to care about them, at least the way they're portrayed to us. And not a lot of Tanglewood. I remember when they were filming the movie over at Tanglewood, and we get a little bit of that. But yeah, I didn't love Maestro. Did you guys like Maestro?
No, I don't know. What was the point?
Yeah, I didn't know what the movie was trying to say exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because they focus so much on the relationships, and a lot of the fights felt staged, and the romance I thought was kind of sweeping early. And then it just didn't work from there. Really, not a whole lot. The conducting scene, yes, is quite something. And the makeup didn't distract me. But you're right. What was the point if you're not going to show a lot of the power of the music and the power of his artistry and the strength of that relationship with just a bunch of conversations?
Lost. They tried to touch on too many things, and it became a $9.99 buffet rather than a sumptuous meal.
Oh, I love that description. That is, but you're right. Yeah, I got to see it in a theater, and I was one of only 2 or 3 people in the entire room. It was me, it was a rep, and it was a security person. And I just sat there for 2 hours going, boy, I expected more than this. I expected more genuine oomph than this.
And as a theater person, the fact that West Side Story was literally mentioned like for a blip, it was like nothing about the process of that. And I was like, really? You couldn't give us that? Like, we want that.
Yeah, right. But I do think it is going to win in the makeup and hairstyling category. There have, even with the controversy that I think people then said, okay, we get, we understand it. He looks fine. And I think the makeup win for Maestro is going to happen. It's won some precursor makeup and hairstyling guild type awards. And I do think it is going to win, although that category has some competition in Oppenheimer and Poor Things. And I think Poor Things may do pretty well technically. But I think Maestro may walk away with an Academy Award on Sunday.
What was the controversy? I haven't heard this before.
Oh, the nose,
His nose, right, of his nose and it not looking real and being false and the religious aspects of it and who he was. And I think people have to understand that Bradley Cooper means well, and he wanted to play Leonard Bernstein as authentically as possible, and that meant the look. And he is not disrespecting Leonard Bernstein in any way. That was not his goal. That was not his intention. This is a guy, Bradley Cooper, who loves movie making. He loves the art of filmmaking. And if he wanted to get it right, the voice, the look, the frame of mind for 6 years, then the nose is going to be a little bigger, because that's how Leonard Bernstein's nose looked.
And the family was down with it.
Oh,
I mean, it was, with the controversial, they didn't have a problem. I have a question. I want to ask you, is this Annette Bening's year for Nyad?
I wish it was, because she does deliver my favorite lead actress performance in Nyad as Diana Nyad. I love the intensity that she brings to that performance, the swimming scenes and her scenes with Jodie Foster. I think Jodie Foster's outstanding as well. And in some years, Jodie Foster may win. I wish Annette Bening would win her 5th career nomination, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I think it's going to go to Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Off of that SAG win, Golden Globe actress in a drama as well. Though you could see Emma Stone for Poor Things take it. And Emma Stone just won 7 years ago for La La Land. A lot of people saying, should Emma Stone have 2 Oscars by now? Frankly, I think Emma Stone should have won for Birdman. And then La La Land, she was amazing. And my favorite of those nominated performances, I thought Rebecca Hall in a film called Christine gave the best lead actress performance of 2016. As Christine Chubbuck, newswoman, you may have known the Christine Chubbuck story, heartbreaking, and she was outstanding. But Emma Stone got the Oscar for La La Land, and now here comes Poor Things, where maybe she'll get it, but she's also collaborating with this director, Yorgos Lanthimos, again and again and again on several other projects. So there's more opportunities for us to all see performances from her. So
if she wins, it will have been as the dark horse. Because as you know, I just sense that there's been a growing drumbeat for her as we're getting closer.
right.
I don't know. It's sort of like a basketball game. I always say if the trailing team doesn't get up by 6, they don't win. And I don't know if she's going to get up by 6 in
Right.
time. And Lily Gladstone, clearly, as you point out.
Yeah. I mean, in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, a film that a lot of people got to see in May at the Cannes Film Festival. So here's a movie that debuted to the public in May, and here comes the following March, and she could very well be named Best Actress of the Year. We've seen it in past years with movies early in the calendar year doing well the following year. Look at Get Out. Get Out won Best Original Screenplay a year to the week, pretty much, after it opened. And that's wild nowadays. So even if your movie debuts to the public 10 or 12 months earlier, you're still going to have awards love later in the year. And I think people love Lily Gladstone in this movie. I was not a fan of Killers of the Flower Moon.
Very long.
Yeah. Read the book.
Just, oh gosh. Leo to me, just showy as heck. And just like, come on, Leo.
Nobody liked him.
No, I'm glad that the Best Actor group is the way it is. The Best Actor group is probably my favorite of the 4 acting categories, because even with Cooper, who may be number 5 for me of that group, but still good, that's a strong Best Actor group this year.
Let's go look at supporting actress. I mean, you've got Divine Joy Randolph and the Holdovers, Emily Blunt from Oppenheimer, Barbie has, America Ferrera, Ferrera, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, and then Jodie Foster.
Right. Yeah. So I want to start with Color Purple, obviously, because this is everything theater. Did you guys see the new Color Purple movie, and what'd you think of it?
I saw it, and that was actually my first exposure to The Color Purple. I'd never seen the musical. I'd never seen the original movie. Nothing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Not outstanding. Was kind of, it bugged me how I liked the first few scenes and the intensity, and we get into it, and then it's, here come the background dancers, and here come other song and dance aspects that take you out of the experience. I didn't want to be taken out of the experience. And I feel like a lot of aspects of the showiness of the musical numbers took me out, and I didn't want that to happen. So that bugged me a lot with Color Purple. Danielle Brooks as Sophia, it's a good performance. It's the only nomination of The Color Purple got. And
it was just kind of fun. I looked it up because I was like, what is it nominated for? I was like, oh, only that one. I was surprised because it's kind of that people felt it was snubbed. And the original has the record for the most nominated film without any wins.
And now this one's not going to win first because she's not going to win. So yeah, that's it. A lot of people were surprised. It had momentum, but I think a lot of people, it made almost a third of its money in one day on Christmas Day, which is wild. And that shows that everybody wanted to go right away. Nobody wanted to see it again, and nobody really wanted to see it after the opening 4 or 5 days. So Danielle Brooks isn't going to win. Emily Blunt, I am thrilled. She's finally nominated after all these years. Her first Oscar nomination. She should have 5 nominations and at least 1 win by now. And here she is for Oppenheimer. And in other years, I think she would win. But Da'Vine Joy Randolph is so good in the holdovers that she should win, and she will win. Every scene is just perfection.
She's
It's just
already won. She won the SAG Award, didn't she?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just perfection. Every scene with Giamatti, some of the speeches that she has, even just sitting on the couch and talking with him, and the heartbreak of that performance and that character and the depth there. She won Critics' Choice as well, Golden Globe, BAFTA, has swept the category. I will be shocked if she loses.
How about supporting actor?
Supporting actor. Another case where it's a person who has swept the entire award season, and that is Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
A third nomination. He was nominated for Tropic Thunder and for playing Charlie Chaplin, and now I think he finally wins.
But to me, it's also the backstory on him. He was so far down that, down looked up in his life.
Right.
And he's so incredibly talented to be back in such great form.
Mm.
But then you got someone like Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things in another year. Who might
did you like Poor Things, Benita?
I like Mark Ruffalo.
I hated Poor Things, and I think that Mark Ruffalo performance is terrible. But yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. So
and he's got local ties. He's got local ties to upstate New York, and
Yes.
He's a little down south in the state. He's either lives or some businesses. Yeah, he's got ties to
I'm just such a fan of his because of the pathos he brings to a role. You don't see the technique. He is. And he's just a good, the good egg. I just had an interesting article, I think it was in Vanity Fair, either this month or last month, about that. Also putting him in the bimbo group, and not the himbo group, excuse me, that, men who play those roles, but that's okay. If you're a bimbo, somehow as a woman, you look down on. But the himbo roles, which begin there, and there's two types. There's the Sylvester Stallone himbo out of, Rocky, the greased up. And then the himbo who's like the Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things, a little bit schnooky. It's a great article. Get your hands on it.
Yeah. And
Can I tell you that?
Go ahead.
No, go
ahead. All right. I was just gonna say that I like his previous 3 nominations more. Kids Are All Right and Foxcatcher and Spotlight. I thought he was great in Spotlight and quiet, reserved in Foxcatcher. He had a lot of interpersonal reflection. But yeah, 4th nomination, supporting actor, but I don't think he's gonna win.
And you got Robert De Niro in that category from Killers of the Flower Moon. Ryan Gosling for Barbie.
Who I wish was in this category, which obviously is a bit of a joke, but the dog from Anatomy of a Fall. Because that performance was amazing. And looking it up, they talked about how it trained for months and months to play dead or like dying. And the owner's quote is that she's worried that he's going to be typecast now as a dog who dies.
Oh, that's true.
Anatomy of a Fall is quite a movie, and it's I think it's your winner for original screenplay. I really think Anatomy of a Fall is going to win. Justine Triet co-wrote it, the director of the movie as well, and it is a film that I liked a lot, and then it kind of lost me a little in the middle, and then it brought me back. And there's some good scenes towards the end. The young man in that too, Milo Machado Graner, fantastic. And the main actress, Sandra Huller, has some very good scenes as well. So yes, it's a movie I like a lot. Not perfect, but strong.
Those are the biggies. I'm going to shift away because, kind of after that, that's really it. Everybody watches for the clothing and the biggies, right?
Yeah.
You've got the empty seats, we know it's, CG behind you. A lot of talk about, are we looking, and we just had the Madison close and the Spectrum for different reasons. But is this the end of getting in line, buying your popcorn, sitting in the theater?
Oh, no, this is not the end of, no. This is not the end of that. I mean, for one of those locations may have a new owner soon, and we
Or
will
the
see.
Spectrum.
Yes, it may have a new owner soon, and we will see what happens. And I'm kind of sworn to secrecy on divulging anything more, but hopefully that will be happening pretty soon. But yeah, it is not the end by any means. I mean, look at Barbenheimer, look at the year, look at the movies. Dune just made $82 million over the weekend, and I saw it in IMAX a few nights before its official open. There was a screening. Every seat was filled at the IMAX, and it was floor to ceiling. It was immersive. It was unbelievable. That's a movie that could get a bunch of nominations for next year's Academy Awards. People still love going to the movies, the theatrical experience. It's families. Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to do well this weekend. It's families, it's action movie fans, it's event movie fans. Look at Taylor Swift. That made so much money, the Eras Tour film. And it was quite an experience. You got to make it an experience. You got to give people good options and make it worth the commitment. But people will put in the time and put in the money if it's something they really, really want or need in their lives.
I'm going to confess, it's been forever since I've been in a movie theater.
Really? Was it before COVID? How do you remember the last time you were in a movie theater, Benita?
I went since COVID.
Okay.
But we had backed off anyway. Not really sure why. Probably because, we're trying to get to everything theater.
Yeah.
I don't. People are rude in the theater.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. The
You
behavior
know?
changed a little. The behavior has changed. There's no question about that. I've witnessed stuff in the last couple of years since COVID. We had the long break. We all came back. It's people on their phones. It's people taking calls, having conversations. Hey, how are you? This was 3 rows. I saw Lisa Frankenstein a few weeks ago. Somebody about yeah, I'll call you back. Yeah, okay. Having a 20-second conversation. Yeah, it's not good. The behavior is not good. But I think so many people are used to watching movies at home. I mean, you used to have a little of the cell phone, a little of the glowing light, a little of people talking. There is still some of that, but it's different behavior as well. It's putting your feet up on the seats of the row in front of you now, like you're on the couch. If nobody's there, or even if somebody is right next to you, here's feet. Here is feet. So the behavior is not great. People need to respect the theatrical experience and respect who's there. And something like Dune, everybody was, so into the movie that there was very little of disruptions other than people getting up and going to the bathroom. But yeah, I've witnessed some stuff, and you don't necessarily want to confront because that could lead to other problems. So you just gotta be careful.
I mean, we've noticed the big shift in the theater too, and that's with live actors, in front of you. So yeah, I could understand what's probably even worse for movie theaters because they're like, it's just a film, right? Like they can't hear me.
But we can hear you.
They can hear you. Yeah.
We can hear you. We can see you. We can see the glowing light. We observe. And yes, the actors on stage, my gosh. I mean, I heard some of those cell phone stories and some of the other yelling stories and all of that. Yeah, people got to respect these places. These are businesses and these are art forms. Actors performing live on a stage, you're paying good money. Why would you do something stupid?
Yeah.
You've got a great event. You're going to scooch out on us because you have a lovely event to finish up today.
Yeah, I got an event this coming Saturday.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah. This Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a very cool event. It is a celebration of Emmy, Tony, and Oscar-winning actress Maureen Stapleton, a native of Troy, New York. And this is going to be a look at her entire stage and screen career with clips and special appearances and a panel discussion that I'm hosting with a few people, including her son, Daniel Allentuck, who is a filmmaker in New York City. So this is Saturday, March 9th at 2 p.m. It's a free event put on at Hudson Valley Community College's Maureen Stapleton Theater. So come on out. It's part of Catholic Central Schools. centennial year. I always call it Catholic Central High School because that's what I'll always call it because I was a graduate in 2016. But Catholic Central's 100th year, and it's going to be a fantastic event. And you're going to get to see memorabilia as well from her throughout her career, from Dan and her daughter, Catherine. So it's going to be wonderful. Come on out. If you want to sign up, there is a link on the Catholic Central site. You go to their centennial year, you click on that. There's a form just to get a head count in a little bit, but you can show up as well. It's going to be about a 2-hour event, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, be great. And she was abroad. You know, if I know some folks who knew her. She was as authentic as it comes. You know, the Hollywood was never, she was dry, she was a local.
And I'll mention that, and I'll bring up that you said that, Benita. I'll bring that up. Yeah, and what a career she had. I mean, you look
And
at
I
the.
mean it in only the fondest way.
Oh yeah.
That's what they loved about her.
Is that she loved this community.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, with all that incredible work, mentally she never went Hollywood. She was real. She was always authentic. Is what they've all told me. Which is, wow, what a testament to someone.
Yes, that is true. And the movies she was in, you look at Interiors, you look at Reds, which she won the Oscar for, just powerhouse scenes, her work in television, her work on the stage, her relationship with Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller, and many of the plays there. What a career. And I'm so excited that her family is a part of this, and this community is a part of this, and we get to celebrate her in a way that I think she's due for a celebration like this. And Hudson Valley and Catholic Central feel that way, and we all feel that way. So this is going to be a nice event with some surprises and an audience Q&A as well. So yeah, come on out Saturday. It's going to be a good time.
Les, I can't. I'm on stage.
Oh, that's right. You're involved. I saw you're involved in something. So thank you for taking the time out of that to do this.
I'm at Fort Salem Theater doing Agnes of God, and it's our final weekend. We added another performance, doing it in the small theater there. It's intimate, so it's immersive. You know, it's lovely when you break the fourth wall and you're talking to the audience, and it's been fabulous houses. Nobody has talked back, but they have been engaged, which is and Ellen just started rehearsing also. You've got a laundry list of roles in one show.
Yeah, I'm doing Spring Awakening with Playhouse Stage Company, and it's 5 different roles, which is fun. I mean, it's not a fun show, but it's a fun acting challenge to play 5 different roles.
Wow, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah. Enjoy all of that. That's awesome. Yeah.
So you just mentioned you saw Dune.
Yeah. Liked it more than the first. And the first won 6 Academy Awards and was a huge success critically. And financially it did okay, but we were still in COVID. But this is making even more money. People love it even more than number 1. Most people do. Some people still think 1 is better. And I think 1 is a good film. I was engaged in this sequel more than the first, though I have to say Austin Butler, not a huge fan of Austin Butler as the villain in this. Took me out of the experience. Not a great role, not a great performance, not a lot of heft to it. And so that was the strong weak point. The only weak point I had was Austin Butler and that character in this. Otherwise, it's a pretty darn good film. And Denis Villeneuve, the director who was nominated for Arrival, the Amy Adams film years ago, has a vision, and he loves that vision. And he has a fan base that is growing kind of in the same realm as Christopher Nolan. And so if it's a new Denis Villeneuve film, this, Blade Runner 2049, which I loved, Prisoners, Sicario, then you got to go see the new Denis Villeneuve film. And I think we're all looking forward to now Dune 3 whenever that gets made.
That just reminded me, we didn't get your pick on Best Director.
Oh, it's got to be Nolan. It's got to be Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I don't see anybody else winning. And it's his, I believe, only a second nomination as best in the Best Director category. His first was for Dunkirk, which is still my favorite of his films. I still think Dunkirk is the movie that got me emotionally the most, though Cillian Murphy, just unbelievable in Oppenheimer. So good in that. But I didn't love the movie as a whole. The last act is so-so. But Christopher Nolan's going to win. The movie community loves Christopher Nolan, even though just 3 years ago, when Tenet came out, and he said, you got to go to the theater. And I went to Vermont to see Tenet on opening day. I went out of state, but a lot of people were like, it might be too soon, Christopher Nolan. And so people were angry at him, and now they're happy with him again. And now he's going to win Best Director.
Do you think there's going to be any surprises either in any categories or just for the award show in general on Sunday?
It's a good battle for animated feature between Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron. I don't know if anybody could sneak in, but maybe. I'll be surprised if Barbie loses adapted screenplay. I will be surprised with that because I think they got to give Greta, after being snubbed in director, they got to give her that award along with Noah Baumbach. So I will be surprised if that happens. Though Cord Jefferson wrote American Fiction and he did a great job with the comedy aspects of American Fiction. I would say the thing you have to watch out for is the fact that the show is an hour earlier this year. It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern. And Jimmy Kimmel, in an interview with Deadline, published today on the day we're recording this, said that he's concerned, they're all concerned that a lot of people are going to miss the first hour of the show. And so with the early start time, they want to get it done sooner, but they are concerned. So I say you gotta turn on that TV at 7 o'clock and watch the whole show. And maybe you'll see some jokes at the start of the 8 o'clock hour, be like, hey, if you missed the first hour, here's a recap of what we did. Why did you miss the first hour? So there could be some fun with that, but that's, I think, something the Oscar people and ABC has to look out for, but they decided to do this. So that's
Which I personally think is great. Every year I'm like, oh, it's so late.
right. Right. Yeah. I
So
like
they
that.
want it- I was gonna say, they want it done by 10.
They do. They kind of want it done by 10:30. They're going to put a new episode of Abbott Elementary on afterwards, right after, kind of like the Super Bowl. And then they put on a show after the Super Bowl every year. ABC said, let's put Abbott Elementary, a new episode on afterwards. So they want to try to get done by 10:30, but it may still go longer than that. It may still, what would be unbelievable is if the show went to 11:15 and it still went super long, and it didn't help that they started an hour early.
It just gave them some more breathing room.
Speech, go long with the speech. It's fine.
Actually, I thought the way SAG Awards handled it with the mother was great. You know, the setup, like, you're done, out.
Oh, yeah, the Emmys, yeah, with
Oh,
with
yes.
yeah,
Sorry, the
with
Emmys,
Anthony
yeah.
Anderson's mother, and yeah.
Yes.
That they got out on time. They were actually early. You know, they
Yeah.
were
And she
because of
was done.
right,
Basically, you're done, sit.
right.
Like I told you, done. You know, and they're like, okay, you know, it's a mom talking.
Right. When you put that fear into people's heads, it really got into their heads. And
Yeah.
so they gave relatively quick speeches in that
I
Emmy
think
show.
there was one that went long.
Right.
Yeah, and it was cute. It was a good gimmick.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I think that worked. So yes, that Emmy show was a good show, but because it was on a Monday night on Fox, and I mean, Fox does well, but historically it's still maybe in some regard number 4, but it was up against football, and it was after the strikes delayed, and it was the 75th year, and they went all out with those cast reunions, and it kind of got overshadowed by everything else, which is too bad. So now we have another Emmy show in September, back to September, primetime Emmys on ABC. We'll see if Kimmel hosts that after this. But yeah, it's too bad that it kind of got overshadowed.
Hmm.
Yeah. We'll see how Kimmel does, his 4th time hosting the Oscars. And I think he's excited. I think he's excited that Barbie and Oppenheimer are nominated in a bunch of categories, and that these two movies made Oppenheimer made close to $1 billion worldwide, and Barbie made more than $1.5 billion, something like that for Barbie or more. And he's excited, I think, of the possibility, and I think ABC is, of the possibility of the ratings going back up, and to see is there a chance Barbie wins Best Picture? Which I would have told you a couple months ago that Barbie had a good chance. At this point, no, but I think people still have that hope that maybe Barbie wins Best Picture.
I'm still watching for the clothes and hairstyles. I mean, okay, call me shallow, fine. But that's part of it, is the pageantry.
Right.
Sure.
You know, when they stopped doing this as a luncheon and went to a red carpet at night, well, come on, we got to be into that too.
Yeah. Interesting with the early start time this year, though, only a half hour for the ABC red carpet show. I think it's World News at 6. ABC red carpet is 6:30. The show is at 7. He's going to do coverage earlier in the day, and ABC will probably do earlier in the day. But if you want that ABC official red carpet, and maybe they'll do stuff before World News. I haven't checked the guide in the last day or so. But the official after World News, before the Oscars, because of the early start time, it's just a half hour. So they're going to try to squeeze in as many interviews as they possibly can into 21 minutes. Yeah.
Should be an exciting award ceremony as always.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll see. We'll see if we have an envelope mix up or if somebody does something crazy. We've already had those things happen. What could happen this year? A Barbenheimer run. Something could get a good run going. We'll see. I mean, I want surprises. I do. I want surprise categories. And if Kimmel does some fun stuff, and we'll see. I hope it's a good show. I hope it's a fun show, and some good movies this year getting recognized. I think Zone of Interest is a good film that'll probably win in a couple categories. And like we said, Holdovers and Anatomy of a Fall, and Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's been nominated 8 times. I think he will finally win for live action short for The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. So for Wes Anderson fans, they're going to love, if he's there, if he's up on stage after 8 career nominations, I think he will finally win. So that's going to be a moment people are going to talk about.
He's like the Susan Lucci.
Right.
Took her
Him and
14
Bradley Cooper. Yeah, him and Bradley Cooper and Amy Adams and Glenn Close. Yeah.
And your event again at the Maureen Stapleton Theater at Hudson Valley Community College on the 9th begins what time?
2:00.
Be there or be square. And by the way, you watching the Oscars at home with your own popcorn, or you going to a party?
Yeah, I'll watch it at home. Got the ballot. I'll have the ballot and everything with me. Yeah.
As always, Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. A
Same
pleasure.
time next year?
Same time next year. Love it.
You know it. And for all our listeners, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Zahn. Go to the movies.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything, everything.